Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pokemon Mystery Dungeons and Dragons: The Lanwell Chronicles. Let us not beat around the bush and let's see who's going this time. I believe it is between Doc and Ice.
Is it me and Ice, or is it, oh well, if it lands on me, that's so be it. Pretty sure it was Quill and
Honest,
Ice.
honestly, I don't even remember. I know I'm one of them. I'm
I
not
know
sure
I
if
did
there
it
was someone
last
else.
time. That's all I
Yeah, Crow
remember.
did it last time. I can't remember. I could have sworn Quill already went. No, wait, that was. No, wait, wait. Yeah, it's Ice or Quill. Because I was thinking of. Well, anyways, yeah, it's Ice or Quill. So let's see which of you ends up getting chosen. It is Quill.
All right, so last time we got into the Temple Mystery Dungeon, and hang on, yeah, and the
Well,
first thing we
anyways,
did
yeah.
pretty much was gather a rug, which was instrumental throughout the entire dungeon. In the first puzzle room we went into, we adorned some statues with a crown, a tiara, and a scepter. Uh, Then we flipped some cards to do things. The first card we flipped gave us opened up the path to the next room, but Reniel decided to flip another card and got some chests from it. Next, we went through a sand puzzle. I have not written down what that puzzle was, but Reniel got a dust of dryness from it, and there was another room where we climbed up onto some balconies and uh, went through the door, and there were some mimics inside. We escaped the mimics by holding the door shut. I believe by a very narrow margin, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, After escaping the mimics, we went to the other balcony and got more loot. And then we got to a more vertical part of the tower. There was a sand puzzle that I had to pull levers, make sand go fill the room or empty from the room to go up or down. Uh, a lot of the puzzles in there were based on cards, and we decided to play poker instead of basic math, and we failed at that. Um, we managed to get a sword in one of the rooms that scared the heck out of Nihiligo. It will presumably be very important later on. We also found a lightning javelin, and when we got to the boss room that did not have any boss, Harold had secret time with his sword, and Reniel planted the beacon, and then we got out.
Not the exact layout of the dungeon, but close enough to get you your D6.
Hmm.
4. Parser apparently really liked that.
Yeah, Parser doesn't know what good,
Recaps are.
what good recaps are.
Yes, Parser just wants to watch the world burn. Anyways, so you all have left the dungeon. The beacon has been placed, and do you want to talk about anything now, or do you want to make your way back to camp?
Seeing as there was bandits roaming around here, we probably want to head back.
Yeah, heading back sounds good.
No objections from me.
Like, what time of day is it right now?
You guys rested before going into the dungeon, and the dungeon didn't take you too long, so it's still early morning.
All right, so yeah, we have a lot of day.
All right.
Probably best we make as much headway as we can to get out of the desert.
Yeah.
Is Terrador going to accompany us on the way back as well, or did he already head back?
Uh, Yeah, Terador notices you guys eventually exit, and he is going to help accompany you back.
Before we leave, we're in a desert, right?
Yes.
Are there any footprints around the area that aren't ours?
Roll me investigation. Or
All right,
perception. Yeah, perception or investigation.
I'll go with perception. 20, natural 20.
Oh
29.
my gosh! Yes, there are indeed footprints around here that aren't yours. With that nat 20, you could tell that they are recent enough that they probably weren't there before, but they did not enter the temple, and they seem to be continuing their way on north. So
Okay, I'm
basically,
not gonna. Oh, go on.
they're recent enough that footprint could be been made, but old enough that recent enough that like the sands didn't completely wipe away, but old enough that it looks like they've been there for quite a while.
Like before, as in a while, as in like while we were in the temple, or before we were in the temple?
Uh, it would have been while you were in the temple.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything out loud, but I'll say to Terador, did anything happen while we were in there?
Terador answers, "Yeah, there were a couple. I don't know if they were bandits or what they were, but a couple of Pokemon came passing by. I hid, I hid, but I kept an eye on the doorway just in case. I was going to try and send them off if they decided to go in, but they ended up just leaving and heading off, so I figured you guys were fine.
What direction did they go?
They went north."
Okay. It checks out. All right. Yeah, we should probably head back to camp. So we have a lot of day or still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, so for once, I'm not going to roll for encounters because I'm feeling like making it pretty casual. So, you spend about 2 days in the desert, so make sure you use your rations for 2 days. And by about midday of the second day, you find yourselves at the outpost of Crasstown.
All right, and you said it was 3 apples per day per those of us who are not resisting the weather by some means, right?
4 per day.
4.
Okay.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Rainiel's gonna buy some more apples.
Yeah. I think we're gonna head towards the Kecleon and
Alright.
maybe try and get these cursed items off of us or see if he wants them.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so you're
Okay.
gonna head to Kecleon, buy some stuff, and have them identify the stuff?
Yeah, I'm before we go there, I'm not really good at haggling, so maybe someone else could do that. Just don't touch the weapons. It's like there's the certain hit sword and the shield of impregnability, which are cursed.
Which you currently don't know, but you figure they
Yeah.
probably are.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then we'll go to the Kecleon.
Okay. So yeah, you go to the Kecleon if you want to do any food shopping, now's the time. But yeah, he looks at the shield, he looks at the sword, and he tells you exactly what I told you last time. Both of them are cursed. The shield is makes gives you a lot of defense, but you struggle making attacks, and the sword is the opposite. You can hit pretty accurate and pretty hard, but you have no defense.
I wonder what would happen if you had both of them on. But yeah, that's what we got. And we also got this rug. Do you want a rug?
A rug, huh? Looks
Yeah.
sandy. Very
Yeah, we
old and used.
but it's from the mystery dungeon.
That is true. 50 gold.
Sure thing. I think that's here. Let me get the calculator.
12.5 each.
By the power of magic.
Yeah. Oh, 12. And would you be interested in these things, the sword and shield?
Dealing with cursed items is a bit of a liability, but at the same time, there are certain people who will be willing to buy it regardless, so I'll say 100 each for them if you really want to sell both of them.
I look to the others.
Renniel
Harold
nods.
nods.
All
I
right.
could honestly see a good use of that shield. Not that I take it, but I definitely see why someone might want it.
Yes, cursed items do tend to give you quite the boon for a rather strong bane as well, so certain people like to fit it into their styles.
Sometimes you just get the bane, though.
Harold's going to cast a quick message on Eugene. This isn't the time when you want to bring that up.
I mean, but still, boon.
So, that'll be 100 gold if you wish to sell it.
Yeah. Well,
It
both of
was
them, right?
Yeah, 100 each.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there
Mm.
anything else you would like me to identify while you're here?
Yeah, we actually found this one. I'm still holding it with a cloth, though. You might want to turn around, Reniel, because it seemed to upset you last time.
Renniel, like, is there any sort of cover or anything Renniel can take?
There's a bunch of random tents and stuff like that.
He's just gonna kind of go around the side of one of the tents.
Okay.
All right, and I'll show him. I'll pull out that rapier.
Ooh, quite the fancy one you have. He grabs it with a gloved claw hand, whatever Kekleons have, and he begins the process of identifying it like he did with the other things. And after a while, he goes, interesting. Well, this weapon isn't quite cursed per se, but it's quite a fascinating one.
What's it do?
So, this weapon seems to be specifically created and designed for the purpose of killing a certain type of creature. What type, I can't honestly fathom myself, but when facing those creatures, it should be extremely powerful. However, the weapon has also inherited a lot of pain, a lot of negative emotions, and a strong desire to kill from whoever created it. And whatever creature this weapon is designed to kill, it will undoubtedly be able to kill it. However, you will be compelled to kill it when fighting one.
Oh,
It will almost give you no other choice.
okay. We might want to keep that on us, and decide what we want to do with that later. I'm kind of putting like 2 and 2 together of like how Reniel was reacting to it.
I also put this in the roll channel just so the audience could see what it says as well.
Right.
Alright, if you wish to keep this one, then you may. It
Hmm.
might prove valuable if you ever end up against whatever it was attuned to kill. Though unfortunately I can't say what it is, so that may diminish its value slightly.
Yeah, I'm just writing it down right now.
Okay. It does make you wonder, though, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
Who or what created it?
Um, well, it did come with a note.
Oh, did?
Uh-huh. And I show him the note.
Interesting. He looks over and he says, That, the writing there, it tickles the back of the mind almost. It sort of looks familiar somehow. And, Eugene, I want you to make a history check.
All right. I was also going to compare the writing to like the samples I have too, like with the diary, the fake diary, the CILS manifest, and the Glossifleur note we got. But I'm making
I could
history.
I could
Oh,
confirm that as you looked over, maybe you've looked over it in when you were like tenting out or during the travel or something like that. It does not. The writing doesn't match any of those.
all right. +4. You know, I naturally just rolled my physical die because of what I've been doing lately. And I'm like, wow, it's the exact same roll. I swear.
Oh my god!
I got an 18 when I rolled it, and I got an 18 there. Wow. But it's 22.
Apparently, it was meant to be. All right. So, as you look over this writing, it looks familiar to you too. You can't 100% place it, but you're pretty sure it's connected to various writings from the time of the Great Lanwell War, specifically an Aryan-based writing. You're not sure who exactly wrote it off the top of your head, perhaps it's been a while, but you're pretty confident it matches someone from the Great Aryan War.
Was that detailed in the book I have?
It might be. Which book was it?
Yeah. Let me go to my inventory again. Where is it? The Legends of the Weird Entry and the various reported phenomena surrounding that legendary tree.
No, it's not related to anything in that book. It's specifically the Great Lanwell War.
Okay.
Though, as you think about it, you think you might have seen you think you might have seen that writing as well inside that book, inside one of the books you've read on the Great Lanwell War while you were with the Guild in the Guild's library.
Hmm. I think we should go back to the guild and cross-reference what this might mean.
Definitely.
All right. Is
think
there any
that's all
other
we have.
business with me? You have with me?
I think that's all we have, unless anyone else here has something.
The sand rod floats out from behind the corner of the tent.
Oh, all right. So yeah, he examines it and he basically tells you what I told you about it before. It's a sand rod. It could be used to create blocks of sand, and you can store sand inside of it.
Yeah, it goes back to Renial after he finishes telling him that.
Oh yeah, I guess we should do that too. I show him the horn as well, so we got that.
Right. I guess just everything we found has to be identified, huh? Does that include the lightning javelin then?
Yeah, I'm not going to waste too much time on it. You are told that that is a horn of blasting, and you are told that is a javelin of lightning. None of them are cursed.
All right. Despite how risky this thing might be, I'll keep it on me just in case.
All right. Then, that's all you have. Then I hope you have a nice day. And if you're ever in if you're ever in Craeus Town again, feel free to shovel off more of your wares.
Mm-hmm.
He sort of waves you off.
Yeah, and did we stay somewhere while we were here?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's about midday right now, you said, right?
Correct.
Yeah, then we should probably stay here for the night.
Okay. Tyrador tells you that he's probably gonna stay and chat with his dad for the night, and he'll let you guys head to the guild on your own terms while he waits for now.
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
speaking of which, I may as well give you the world map just in case you want it. So yeah, you're all given the you're still OBS Crow.
Yeah, I know.
You're all given the your old sleeping grounds. This one is actually free just because you guys are doing guild work out here, and you're free to rest and chat amongst yourselves.
Now that we're finally alone, something I've been wanting to bring up for the past couple of days. Renial, what do you know about your ancestor Koritha?
Was not expecting this question. Give me just a second. Koritha. Oh man.
Everyone's out of it today.
Yeah. Why do I have so many different note sheets? Okay. I do not know a great deal about Koritha, other than that she took part in stopping the war at the fortress we went to when we first met each other. Though I suppose you were not there for that, Harold. A story for another
Shakes his
day.
head.
She was also a brilliant scientist, much like my father and all of my other ancestors. You could say it's a family tradition of sorts.
Did you happen to know her to have any association with those ruins we were just exploring?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Well, Harold pulls out his sword. I believe I told you that I don't know how it works, but there's somebody in here. When I sort of spaced out when we were at the end of the dungeon, I finally found out who.
You cannot
And
be serious.
As far as I'm aware, yeah, that's who it is.
Reniel's ancestors living in your sword?
As far as I can tell, yes.
What has she told you?
She doesn't remember much of anything. It was only recently that we even figured out her name, and even then, I figured it out. She didn't remember it. She doesn't know how she got there. She doesn't know how she got in here. So, not much.
I see. I cannot say I was expecting that.
What I read about her, it said she was interested in researching the emerging mystery dungeons, but she died before her research could go very far. If she died, how is she in a sword?
I have no idea how any of this works.
Perhaps it was some sort of mind imprint.
A sort of echo of her. Maybe.
Did you get anything else when that happened?
Not really. Like I said, she's almost a blank slate. She doesn't really know who she is.
And she just remembered now? Well, the name anyway.
We pieced it together.
Hmm.
She is gradually starting to get her memory back, at least.
Do you know what causes it, or is it just happening over time?
I'm not entirely sure.
Crazy idea, but I almost have to wonder. Maybe Perennial could find some way to talk to her next time. Or would that not possible?
I don't know. I've tried using my own magic to communicate with her, but I can only talk to her while we're inside a dungeon.
May I see the sword?
Harold hands it over.
Reniel Mage hands it over to himself and just kind of holds it in his paws, seeing if anything special happens.
Okay, Reniel, as you're holding that sword in your paws, you feel some form of connection with it, but beyond that, nothing special seems to happen, aside from maybe it's slightly warmer, though that could just be you feeling the desert itself.
He's going to try to cast, or not cast, he's going to try to use his telepathy on it.
You try and use your telepathy on it, but nothing seems to be happening. You don't seem to be able to be get. You don't seem to be getting any form of communication with it.
Is it attunable?
Uh, Technically, no. At least not without stealing Harold's warlock powers.
Okay.
Wait, but it could be attuned?
I'll have to actually do some research on how warlock things work,
Oh boy.
because I'm not entirely sure what happens if like the hex blade for one person ends up in the hands of another, and they try sort of doing stuff with it. So I'm gonna have to actually do some research on that and get back to you.
Well, mechanically, it's not a magic item.
Yeah, mechanically it's not a magic item. You don't use a attunement slot for anything. So beyond that, I'll have to do some research on that. I didn't actually think of that.
Um, What I know, like I'm not proficient. I guess I wouldn't know. But I am a little intelligent. What I know about like spells, like communicate with other plane and stuff like that.
Roll me Arcana.
Okay, so I'm not proficient in that, but my intelligence is decent, as in +1. So,
That's more decent than most people who play D&D.
yeah. Okay. Right channel. Yeah. D20.
Hey, even lucky so.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
yeah, no, your magic is not really your forte too much.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it thinking, it's like, well, what if we open Oh no, that might be bad if we opened it up and no.
Oh my gosh.
Reniel eventually just hands it back to Harold.
I am not really getting anything special from it.
Maybe you can try contacting her next time we're in a dungeon. She seems to be more able to interact with the outside world during those times.
It is certainly worth a shot. It would be very interesting to speak with an ancestor of mine from that long ago.
Has she told you anything else important related to what we're doing?
Like I said, she doesn't remember anything.
Mm.
Well, we still have the other stone to drop off, so might have to consider that next time.
That one's outside of a dungeon.
Ah,
There is the others are dealing with the one inside that cave, that dark cave place.
It may not be too late to go back to it.
It's pretty dark in there. I recommend we all can see in the dark without torches.
I would rather avoid going into dungeons unnecessarily.
although in this case, it seems we can't really get an answer unless we are in one, so
And you just be sending your friends instead.
But we do still have a lead to follow up on.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I was thinking too. Apparently, I'm about to say something and then I'm like, oh yeah. Then I tap my forehead.
What?
And you get
For
complete and utter silence.
Redial to activate the mind talk.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Snake, do you repeat?
He was busy thinking about his ancestor being inside of a sword.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he starts playing brain telephone.
Okay, so that Kieran guy, that arena champion guy, he's part of CILS or involved with them somehow, right?
Yes.
Maybe we could blackmail him?
in what regards?
Well, it's obviously a secret, right?
Why would we be blackmailing him?
To use him somehow.
We don't have any evidence of his involvement.
But he doesn't know that.
Right.
This is a
What would-
very this is a very dangerous game to be playing. We can consider it, but I don't think we should try something like that unless we have a concrete reason to.
Yeah, I know. Just something to keep in the back pocket, right?
I
Fair.
suppose so.
I didn't plan on just, throwing it out there right as soon as we got back. It's just, someone that famous, his reputation might be very coveted for him. But yeah, just maybe keep that in mind if they give us more trouble.
Right.
Admittedly, I'm not sure what I could see it being used for blackmail like that.
Well, an opportunity might present itself.
Perhaps.
Just, tell them something. Just tell them to tell us what they know, or else we'll out him. What I was also thinking is make it seem like it's from another person. That way it has two purposes: to distract from us and get information out of them.
Potentially make it seem like the Purge knows and that they might say.
Exactly.
I would rather not play such a game if we could avoid it.
Yeah, of course. Don't want to do it if we don't need to. I mean, they haven't bothered us in a while. But that does bring up a question. What do we do next?
I would assume we go to the canyon to place this last beacon.
River, not canyon.
Right, river.
The voice in my head told me about it.
Next step after that is to follow up on the writing on that note. See if we can figure out who made that sword.
Yeah, we could probably do that when we head back to the guild. I mean, we could probably just go to the guild. It's pretty close. Now that I think about it, they might be suspicious if we're gone for a long time.
It's practically a waypoint on our journey anyway.
Yeah.
The problem is getting them to let us then go to the river.
Yeah,
They'll probably send us on another assignment.
Won't they be suspicious if we're like just going to these random places every other day?
They'll probably start putting two and two together. It might be better if we just head to the river, then head back.
How long is it going to take us to get there from where we are now?
To get to the guild, it would take you about 2 days. To get to the point in the river where you want to go, which, by the way, let me mark it on this map. It's that river. To get to the point of the river, you would... It isn't there, actually. It's, I have the map, so... It is... Whoops. Not there. It is right there.
Ah. Okay, that's a bit of a trek.
Yeah, to get to there, especially avoiding the guild, it'd probably take you about 4 to 5 days.
And what's this stuff again? What does this texture mean?
That's the forest.
Okay.
That's the Great Lanwell Forest, I believe. It's a place where you helped. It's the place where you first saw the red rocks that were controlling ghost kids with more of the
Hmm.
meow stick.
Right.
Seems a little far away.
What we might be able to do is go back to the guild, and as soon as we get the opportunity, take a job in the forest. That would give us an excuse to head out in that direction.
At which point we're waiting on someone needing help out there instead
Or-
of.
Or something even over here.
We really just need something in that general direction.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. And we can take some downtime to figure out what the note means. Maybe get my climbing equipment back too.
Perhaps I could request that Tarek keep it with him and then drop it off at the local Delver's location.
Assuming they have multiple outposts.
Harold,
I-
They
you
have a drop-off. They
Yeah.
have a drop-off point in Misty Gales. I used it to get that first crystal to them.
Alright, it might be good to just let them know to return all of our stuff there once they're done.
Renio's
is
gonna sending that to them.
okay? Which one in particular are choosing, Tarek or Ricky?
Tarek, because that's the one whose name I remembered.
Okay, so you sending how are you going to word this in 25 words or less?
Eugene would like his supplies that he left at the mountain back.
Okay, Tarek
That's not fun.
Tarek responds, about to head into the dungeon. We'll be sure to give it to you back once we're done.
They will have it for us in Misty Gales.
okay. Or will they contact us if they get out?
I would assume they would have such means to do so.
All right then. Let's head back to the guild tomorrow.
All right.
Are we in a tent?
Yeah, you're in a tent.
Okay.
This one, not an Eldritch tent that randomly has poles
Oh.
missing.
I'm going to set my alarm system inside the tent around us, kind of like encompassing our bedrolls or sleeping bags or whatever we're in.
Okay.
And then I guess we'll take a rest.
Okay. All
We
right.
leveled up, by the way.
Oh, right, yeah, everyone leveled up, and despite what his fancy calligraphy says, Eugene is now part ranger.
Yeah.
We forgot to sort of mention that. But anyways, so you have your alarm system around, and does not trigger in the middle of the night, and you wake up just fine in the morning, all ready and ready to go. I imagine you're just gonna pack your bags and immediately head back to the guild.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, so you pack your bags and you begin making your way to the guild. Travel seems to be decently quiet lately, so there doesn't seem to be too much impeding you. You stop for the night, maybe like along the riverbed or maybe in a nice secure spot with like some trees for cover or something. you take another rest and you make it back to Misty Gales about late afternoon of the second day. So be sure to take off 2 provisions.
Or wouldn't be
Yep.
4 total because that's 2 days.
It'd probably be 3 because we probably eat when we get there.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, it'd only be 2 because you would be given breakfast in Town.
Oh,
So you'd only have, yeah, it'd be only 2.
Okay.
But yeah, you see the familiar streets of town, and you eventually climb your way back up to the guild. Unless, are you gonna check on the Delver's supply stop place that its name escaping me before you go into the guild?
Yes,
Or
definitely.
I'll go ahead and check it and see if there's anything there.
okay, you check it. There does not appear to be anything there for you.
Cool, cool.
But
All right, then back to the guild.
all right, so you all walk up the large steps and head into the guild. Thankful that this guild does not have a Wigglytuff's head on it or anything like that.
That would just be weird.
But yeah, you enter the guild and Rion notices you all and oh gosh, sorry, what was that? Oh gosh, that emote. So I'm pretty sure that emote does not appear in the actual chat. So for those of you who obviously could not see it, that was the Wigglytuff death emote. It's a giant Wigglytuff smiling face. But anyways, you go into the guild and you see Rion there at Inner Old Reception Point, and she says, "Oh, you're back. Welcome."
Thank you.
Hi. We're a little tired.
Yeah, I can imagine. How'd your was there anything we should know about the dungeon you checked out?
Just there's bandits around it.
A
We
lot
didn't
of
run
sand.
into them, but a lot of sand.
Anybody who's entering it should bring a large rug with them.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
A large rug. She looks at you.
Trust me. Trust me on this.
She looks at you confused for a moment, but she nods and says, "All right. So nothing too important to report to the guild leaders then. All right.
No.
Feel free
Other
to
than other than occasionally there is the chest that houses a cursed item.
And the chests are alive in there too.
Living chests, cursed. Lots of cursed treasure.
As far as I'm aware, all of this was known already.
Yeah. Thornton's dad already told us all about that sort of stuff, so we know. But, alright. Feel free to go to your room for the night.
Yeah. And I guess we eat first and then we head back to I head back to my room.
Yeah.
Brynjol's going to check the job board right away.
All right.
Okay. Raniel, you look at the job board and you're specifically looking for jobs.
Something out to the west, yeah.
Okay. Well, coincidentally enough, there does seem to be actually a job available for that. In fact, one that's actually in the forest. You notice that your old quote-unquote pal Mori is being given leave from his half incarceration with the guild due to him stealing things, and the guild is asking for someone to escort him, to just keep an eye on him and escort him while he visits the ghost feral Pokemon children that he was taking care of in the forest.
He takes that and shows it to the rest of the team.
I guess I already left, so I...
No, convenient.
Renewal's gonna take it with him and wait and to discuss it with the team as a whole once Eugene is located, and then we're gonna have a little telepathy talk.
Okay. Alright, so you all go ahead, eat your fill, and after you're done eating your fill, you converge together and I guess whichever one of your rooms you want.
Yeah. So we'll go in
Okay.
Harold and Renewals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, you all go in Harold and Renniel's room and you can chat in there.
Rather fortuitously, there happens to be a mission out into the forest. It is more or less an escort quest with Mori. You remember Mori, don't you?
Yeah.
The only issue I see with this particular quest is that we will have to bring him back as well.
Yeah, we can't exactly just run off while we're escorting him.
Nor can we particularly take him with us.
Is there anything on there about how long has to be with the kids?
Says about a day or two. Yeah, it says about 2 days.
Are you, any of you, sensing the irony here that we first destroyed the rocks, now we're putting one there?
It
It
is
was
rather
lost.
ironic when you think about it.
Certainly was not lost on me.
Just, I don't know. Just makes me a little nervous.
That he might be apprehensive if he spots us.
No. Well, yes, but putting them back there. I know they're inert and everything, but it just, I don't know. By the way,
Understandable.
I'd like to add how just awkward this would be if someone walked in and just sees like these four people just staring at each other. With occasionally Evie looking over at everyone. Yeah.
In sequence.
Harold just occasionally points at somebody.
But I guess we could do it. It's just, it's just a little worrisome.
Where is the exact location in the forest that it's asking us to take Mori?
You remember from your travels with them, I'll put this as a green dot. You remember that his camp was, or his village with the ferals were, excuse you. Oh wait, I have it on the eraser tool, that's why. His camp with the feral Pokemon was situated somewhere around here, and give me a second to also show this to the people because you're actually marking up this map and stuff. But yeah, his home village with the feral Pokemon was around there.
How far is it between there and place where we want to put the crystal?
It's about it's about a couple hours of a walk. Let me check. Yeah, you could probably go there and back 5 feet. Yes, it's 5 feet between them. But you could probably go there and back within a few hours. At most, maybe a half day at best.
Seems like someone
think-
needing to go off by themselves or splitting the party.
I mean, if we just need the one to watch him, then there's no real good reason we can have everyone just leave.
Yeah. It'll be suspicious.
One of us going, not so much.
To scout the area.
Probably want to send 2 people, I suppose. At least.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't agree sending someone off by themselves.
I would suggest myself and Eugene since we are the most mobile.
Yeah, we could probably get there pretty fast.
Sounds good to me.
What's our excuse for going off, though?
For several knowledge at that.
Let's run a little experiment here. Say, pretend I'm Mori. Where are you going?
To the river to gather some water. We left it back at the... We left our supplies of water back at the guild.
Go south from here.
Everyone knows that the purest water is at the end of the river.
Why do you need pure water? You just need drinking water.
Is not drinking water supposed to be pure? Unless it is salt water, of course.
All right, seems like a solid argument.
I don't think he's likely to actually press us that hard.
I know. I'm just doing it just in case. It's when
Understandable.
when plan A fails, and that's when you draw blanks.
We
All
in
right.
agreement then?
Yeah. Maybe let's go to the library and look up that book. I usually do this by myself, but it would probably be easier if we all tried to look for it.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah, then I guess we're going to the library and looking up books of the Great Lanwell War.
Okay. So you go to the library. Eugene, you're pretty familiar with it, so you first started with the book that you looked up to learn about the fort that you guys raided. And as you look through the book, you see a lot of the usual details of the war. It's clearly written from an Aryan perspective as the winners, but it still manages to remain impartial. And as you keep looking, you eventually see a section about some of the letters written by various generals and stuff like that. Reniel, you see some of Koritha's writing in there, actually, which
Okay.
might be interesting for you. But
What does it say?
eventually, as you're sort of looking at these and looking for matches on your on the note, you eventually find a match.
Ooh.
You see in one of the letters, you see it's similar to the writing. I mean, the writing it's on the note itself is a bit more frantic, but otherwise the hand or paw or whatever writing is basically similar. And you see that, assuming the one who wrote the note also created the sword, the creator of the sword is Glenn Starshard, the Blastoise Aryan General.
My eyes kind of widen when I see that. Oh boy. This is actually the book I learned about Kortha from Reniel, so if you're hoping to learn anything new about her, it's you probably won't get anything much from it. But this is from that War Turtle's ancestor we met in that town. Do you guys remember? You weren't here, Harold, but
Reniel nods.
Right.
he was fighting these things?
I'm not very familiar with this individual.
Well, let's just say he has a very he has a big bias towards Aaron, and he has the opposite of bias towards Caldwelch. So you can guess how he treated Sergey.
No. I mean this individual, this Glenn Starshard.
Yeah, he's a war hero.
He worked with Kortha to turn the tide of the war at the fortress whose name escapes me right now.
I'm currently scrolling through like 10 pages of notes.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too. so, I'm just fluff talking until
Donsbury Fortress.
There you go.
That might mean that Kortha knows something about the Ultra Beasts.
It would be worth asking your sword if she manages to get back any more memories.
Right. So, like, I'm sure there's not a whole lot of information on this subject, but, like, what is known about the interactions that Ultra Beasts have had with Lanwell in the past?
Believe I mentioned this earlier, but from research you might have done on it, Ultra Beasts are considered like very legendary creatures. Like they'd be sort of the equivalent of modern day cryptids, and that there's stuff that people swear they saw and swear happened, but they lack concrete proof. For the most part, the biggest notable thing about them is they seem to have some connection with mystery dungeons and only seem to be counterable deep within mystery dungeons, and they only appear momentarily before disappearing, which is why, like, say someone was at the end of the mystery dungeon and saw this strange creature they didn't understand. Well, if they escaped to tell the tale and someone else came in, they did not see the same creature as them, which makes tales of these ultra beasts very
Reliable.
yeah, very unreliable. So again, it's
Yeah,
sort of like
yeah.
basically they're like modern day cryptids if you only found modern day cryptids at the end of your local strange area with a giant staircase in the middle of it.
Yes, your local back rooms.
Did any of that pop up in this book we're reading?
In that book specifically, no, that book has nothing on Ultra Beast.
Maybe we should go looking around for any like folklore. At this point, since given the nature of Ultra Beasts, it might be better to find books that are more quote unquote fiction because, we're not going to find factual stuff necessarily, but even recounts will be helpful at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you look around through folklore and local legends, and you do get a bit of what I just told you. Strange Pokemon seemingly only found on the far into mystery dungeons, unusual shapes, sort of unusual shapes, unusual powers. They're often considered to be local legend or superstition at best, but there are some tall tales and some creative tales of them. The most consistent thing is once again that they only seem to appear around mystery dungeons. There's never been any sighting of them outside of it, so it's assumed that they're just phenomena of those mystery dungeons.
Is there any documentation of them selecting someone as a host?
There does not appear to be, no.
Are there any records of any Freelance Guild members encountering any?
There is a few, yes. Let me, get you... Oh, whoops. Something real quick. Oh, yeah. Actually, there is a record from a Mimikyu named Pierce.
Okay.
Who mentioned seeing a very tall, lanky one, similar to the one that quote unquote killed Elizabeth, the Gardevoir. Well, obviously he did not say that, but that's based on what you know.
Mm-hmm. I just have it that he encountered a long, spindly one.
Mm-hmm.
Which part of the Freelance Guild does he work for? Does he work here or?
He works for Town, the main branch.
All right, could you spell that?
HRID. On the map it is, yeah, here.
Okay.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not that far. Okay, well, there's a lead.
Certainly an individual to visit if we are ever in that area.
Is there anything else we want to look up while we're here?
Can't think of anything.
Reniel's going to try to see if he can find any new information in any, like, technology books of, like, the history of technology to see if he can find any information about Kortha maybe crafting swords or sword-like weapons.
Okay. You look through Kortha's various inventions, and she certainly did seem to craft magical weapons of all variety, though. So swords are definitely included, though they didn't seem to be a main focus of her. Just general magic items or weaponry, and yeah, just general magic items and weaponry.
Alright. Reniel just takes note of that. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of different leads right now that it's kind of hard to think of if we want to look for anything else. Between heading back out to the forest, an actual name of someone who has a personal encounter.
Something still is suspicious about that note. Like, yeah, we found out who it was by, but the last part of it, with this, I shall finally take my revenge. On what and why?
Presumably revenge against Ultra Beasts.
Yeah, I'd like to know why.
Wait a minute.
Perhaps some personal vengeance. Some sort.
What if all this has happened before?
What do you mean?
What if the Great Lanwell War was another attempt they made to come into this world like they are now?
I kind of like it, like, oh god, I didn't think about that.
I did consider such a thing. After all, it is said that the Weirden tree shows up in cyclical patterns, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Conjured by large-scale death.
Perhaps.
and that would suggest someone was instigating it last time.
This is perhaps a bit of a crackpot theory, but I don't know. This is grasping at straws, but hear me out. Imagine perhaps all these different organizations are actually being planted by these Ultra Beasts. Perhaps the reason the wars happened in the first place is them stirring up this chaos to get into our world.
Fluffwell certainly seems to be playing into such an idea to some degree. However, it seems more like he is using. How do I word this? He seems more opportunistic than to be intentionally planting these organizations.
What if we ask Nihilico?
I suppose it is worth a shot. I do not know the lifespan of a Nihiligo.
I don't either, but if it was around, well, the last time it happened, it's probably the best witness we have.
Even otherwise, it might be in on the plans now, or have been at one point.
But it seems to be cooperating with us.
Well, I guess not in on them so much as aware of them.
Well, let's try tentacle out, Reniel.
It might be a better idea for you to do this somewhere not in public.
Yeah. I just got too excited with the breakthrough. Sorry. Yeah, okay. We'll stick a note in that.
All right. I don't think there's a whole lot more we can do for the time being.
Yeah. I put away the books.
All right.
By the way, with the time I've had with the Weird and Tree book that I got from the university, have I gotten through it yet, or?
You probably have, yeah. It's been a
All right.
long freaking time.
I'm probably gonna mail it back then.
What, you're not going to take the trip all the way down to Quavold?
No, I'll just mail it to the university.
Okay, you could do that.
All right. Get it out of my inventory. I think I didn't. It's not overdue. I think it was less than a month.
Yeah, it's been less than a month.
All right. All right. I believe we're gonna take the job tomorrow and drop off the thing.
I don't think we have anything else we're looking for at this point. We've pretty much settled on our plans.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, I guess we just kind of go to bed, or we let the guild know we're taking this quest, and then we're gonna go to bed.
All right. You do that. Are you gonna talk any more with the guild leaders?
Yeah.
All right. Yep. So you agree to take the quest, and then you all rest for the night. Tomorrow morning, you are once again woken up by the typical earthquake.
Oh, I didn't miss this.
Yeah, you're woken up by the typical earthquake. You go get your food, and everyone heads out onto your assignment, including you. And so you all head out into town, and you are basically sent to the holding cell where Mori is, and he is currently in your custody. As you meet up with them, he says, "Oh, it's you guys. Been a while."
While they're picking him up, I'm just gonna stock up on a few supplies. I just need a few rations,
Okay, you could do that.
and I'll rejoin them after they've picked him up.
And when I get up in the morning, there's one thing. What color is the healing potion?
Uh, green.
Can I buy green food coloring? Or dye? Food dye or something?
Uh,
Oh,
I think I know where you're going with this, and it scares me. Yeah, I'd say food dye's probably not too terribly expensive, so like 2 copper or 5 copper, whatever.
Okay. And then
my
I'm going to drop it into the poison, and then I'm going to label it potion of healing, spelt kind of make the L like just a little bit shorter than the other.
Oh my gosh.
And then I'm going to tell everyone too through our communication thing that that's what it is.
Oh my gosh.
I
Drawing
did
a
not
blank.
take.
Where did we get these again?
remember the potion, the random potion we picked up from one of the dungeons? Like,
The bandits.
Yeah, the bandits had
oh right,
poison on them. Eugene, you looted it from their body, and now Eugene's putting green food coloring in it to make it look like a potion of healing.
Just in case we get mugged.
How insidious. Why did I not think of that?
Oh, hopefully we don't have to use it.
Oh no, I hope we get the opportunity to use it.
oh goodness.
I assume you're doing this before you meet up with Mori.
Yeah. Just so they like, if I fall down and they're like, "Oh, he has a potion of healing. Here you go, Eugene."
Fair enough.
But if someone steals it,
Okay then. Alright, so after doing that. Oh my gosh. I still can't believe you did that. Okay, so after doing that, you go into the holding cell. The guards escort Mori into your care, and he says, "Oh, hey, it's you guys. Been a while."
yeah. Um, we heard you want to go back to the forest.
Yeah, well, it's basically a regular thing. Because I apologized and gave all the stuff back, and because the guild understands the importance of what I'm doing, they let me once or twice a week with guild escort head over into the forest and check it out.
Have you been there with anyone else? Or is it just the same escorts?
I was there once with Kaylin. Uh, I was supposed to be there with some guy called Finlay, but I don't know what happened there. So instead, a Glaceon came with me. Oh, and your guild receptionist, she went with me once. Oh, and there was this Mimikyu as well. Apparently he was just here on different business, but since he was here, he escorted me as well.
What was that one like?
Uh, Fidgety a little. Seemed to be almost nervous about everything. Like there was someone who was going to jump into his shadows.
Huh.
The party only glances at one another.
Can't comment because I'm not there.
But yeah, it's usually someone different every time. It's just whoever's willing to escort me at that point. It's a pretty low rank job since it's just a simple escort mission, but I'm glad you guys decided to take it once.
Yeah, we just wanted to see how things were, I guess, and take on an easy mission.
Alright, fair enough. So shall we head off?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
Alright, so you all begin heading off, and Harold joins you eventually before you leave town and enter the forest.
I kind of like on the sly bring up the fact that the Mimikyu was with them. Like, yeah, all the guild members were escorting him, and this Mimikyu from another guild came and or another what's the word I'm looking for?
Branch.
Branch. There we go. Branch came and escorted him one time.
Do you happen to... Harold's going to turn to the Meow Stick. I can't remember his name.
Mori.
Is he still around by any chance?
Oh no, that was about a week ago.
Must have been while we were still like on Tron Finale.
Speaking of Tronfinel, how's looking into those Strange Red Rocks been going?
Frustrating.
Oh, that bad, huh?
We're making some progress, but we're just
Chronicles is one way to put
dealing
it.
with largely just dealing with anyone who would have the gall to do anything like this.
Yeah, I can imagine. So far, I mean, the other reason why I do this with the guild is just to check to make sure someone hasn't repeated it, and thank goodness they haven't. There's been no red rocks controlling any of the kids in the forest as far as I've seen, but yeah, I can't believe someone would do it. And I can't even imagine why. Just for research?
Yeah.
Alright.
Not that we know either.
I was kind of hoping you guys would find out a bit more, but I suppose I can't blame you for not having found anything.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks for that. Hopefully you find some answers sooner or later.
Yeah, so you plan how long do you plan on staying here again?
Me?
Yeah.
Uh, honestly, after they let me out, which shouldn't be too much longer, they're pretty generous with my sentence. I'm probably gonna go back to staying at the forest, cause I don't know, on one hand, I would like to go back to Ledrith and report my findings, but on the other, like, taking care of the kids has been giving me a lot more life than I thought it would.
How much longer do you have before they let you out?
It should be out by the end of this month.
That isn't too bad.
Yeah, like I said, they were really nice.
But I suppose we
Right.
should head towards the village or where you want to go.
Yeah, the village. They're all there and they generally wait for me there. So, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to talk about, or shall we skip to the village?
Jump, skip.
Yep. Fast travel.
Yep, jump.
Okay. Boing, boom. Alright, so eventually you go enter the familiar village, and as soon as Mori enters through, he says, "I'm here." And you see all of the Litwick, the candles, the fungus. No, not fungus. The all the ghost and fairy children all rush over, and despite not being able to say anything, they all seem to be pretty happy to see him. And as they do, he says, "Yeah, yeah, happy to see you guys too as well."
Kind of strange that they don't really act like this when we're inside one of those mystery dungeons.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, I've been thinking, and I wonder. You guys know the rumors about mystery dungeons, right? Where if you're in one and spend too long, you become one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't something I was aware of until recently, actually.
It's a common phenomena. At least it has. There's no concrete documentation, but there's been notice of. Perhaps it's people looking for their loved ones and hoping that that one in the dungeon is it, or perhaps it's actually a fact, but it's been a common theory that if you spend too long in a dungeon, you might turn into one of the feral Pokemon there. But anyways, to answer your question, I've been curious if by them spending time outside of the chaotic energies of a mystery dungeon, if the process itself might be reversing.
Hmm.
Have you seen any evidence of that happening with any of these children? I mean, of the process of, well, being found again, actually going to completion?
So far, progress has been slow, but he points to one of the Mischievous who seems to be sort of repeating his mouth movements. And they seem to be trying to learn how to talk, which is certainly not something that feral dungeon Pokemon do. They don't seem to act territorially. They don't, outside of what you saw with like the red rocks and stuff, they don't attempt to like assault anyone who randomly passes by or anything. They seem docile. So, while the process might have reverted them to more childlike state, assuming they were not adults, we can't be certain, but and they might have just been a product of the dungeon itself, but they show signs of almost growing up as a child does. They show signs of wanting to learn how to speak, and wanting to try and act like how I do. Perhaps with enough time and with me spending enough time with them, they might be able to actually speak, start socializing with other Pokemon, and perhaps someday even live just like you or I do.
Is it possible to drag a Pokemon out of a mystery dungeon? Or, like, how would this have been done?
Are you asking in character or out of character?
I guess I'll do in character just for the sake of. Because I probably don't know. As Eugene.
Yeah. Okay, so you ask Mori that, and he says, recordedly, no. Like, these children are a general anomaly in that way because normally you shouldn't be able to bring a Pokemon out of a dungeon. If you tried, like, holding on to one and leaving the dungeon exit, they normally disappear or something happens to them. But for some reason, these ones are out. And I'm not entirely sure how it happened.
Going along with the rumors of them being Pokemon who have spent too much time in the mystery dungeon, these could simply be such cases and they are able to leave since they did not originate in there.
That could be true, yeah. If they were all formerly, if they were all formerly sentient Pokemon like you and me that became feral, maybe that's what allows them to leave and become less feral again.
Is there a mystery dungeon in this forest?
You ask when you took the tutorial dungeon in this forest?
Oh, it wasn't there. Okay.
Yeah, actually,
It's been a long
the guild told you that there are 3 dungeons in this forest.
Hmm.
Renniel's going to message the well, not mess. You know what I mean. He's going to say to everyone,
If there are 3 mystery dungeons in this forest, is there a possibility that there is one where we are intending to go? If that is the case, it may be unwise for only Eugene and I to go.
Harold is going to message Reniel back. No, the Delvers told us this one's outside of a dungeon.
Renniel nods.
But yeah, that's basically how things are going. So I suppose if my hypothesis is right, and if they are growing up, so to speak, and becoming less feral, then I suppose the answer to how long I'll be here is until they're all ready to live their lives and leave the nest, so to speak. Never
Do you
thought I'd
think,
end up being a parent, to be honest, but
do you think it'll be possible for them to assimilate?
I think it's possible. Like I said, they're showing signs that they'll eventually be able to become a normal Pokemon. So I think with time, yeah, they might be able to integrate themselves into society just like everyone else.
Hmm. If that connection is still active through Reniel, I
It
want
was currently to Harold, so it's
Oh,
probably
okay.
not directly to Eugene.
All right. Well, maybe we could take a job later and investigate these mystery dungeons around here to maybe find out where they came from and how they got out.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I haven't. I'm not strong enough myself to explore any of the mystery dungeons around here, so I've always been curious which one they come from.
Well, we were already in one of them, and didn't seem like anything good came from there. So maybe the other two.
Alright, well, you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but if you ever decide to do it and you figure it out, feel free to tell me.
Yeah, we'll tell you what we find if we do that. Oh, shoot. I think we forgot to pack water.
You forgot to pack water?
Yeah, my
Harold
water.
face palms.
Reniel is going to float out his hang on,
Oh.
empty cup of dirty deck water filled with clean rainwater.
Oh no.
I gotta like look at it, and like I don't even have to pretend to be disgusted.
Oh. That's... You might want to clean that.
He just kind of
Yeah.
it just kind of floats right back into his main.
Is there any place we can go fill up?
Oh, you know, there's rivers all over the place. There's one to the north, south, anywhere.
How dangerous do you think these woods are now that, well, no offense, that you're not doing your thing here anymore?
All the pharaohs I take care of are around here, so... And I haven't had it, and there hasn't been a history of any bandits or anything in these forests, so I think they should be safe.
Well, I think I'll go fill up everyone's canteens. Well, we can't really leave you alone, can we? Again, no offense.
Yeah, I know. If one of you wants to head off to fill up, then feel free.
Well, I think I'll take Reniel with me just in case.
Buddy system.
Yeah, buddy system.
Alright. Sure.
Eugene is screaming internally.
Alright. Sure. Go ahead. You might want to clean that cup while you're at it.
He's not going to do that.
He is correct. I will not do that.
Why?
I don't know.
It's
It will
disgusting and I have no answer.
It must remain as I received it.
What?
It must remain as I received it.
I heard you the first time. I meant... Why?
It
You'll
will
learn
be
not to
si-
question it.
He still looks perennial as if expecting an answer.
All right, let's go fill up those water jugs, Reniel.
Reniel just kind of follows Eugene without saying another word.
Yeah, Reniel has the thing, right?
Yeah.
The
Yes.
rock. Yeah, right. Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna go to the edge of the river there.
Okay. As you guys leave, Mori looks to you two, to Sergey and Harold, and he's like, "What?"
You just learn to stop questioning things with him eventually.
I've certainly tried.
Okay. Anyways, unless you guys want to talk to Mori about anything, we'll cut to Eugene and Reniel.
I
That
don't-
sounds good.
Okay. So, you two take a nice sort of nature walk along the forest, and eventually you find the end of the river. It leads to a sort of small pool pondish area. Seems to be plenty of foliage in it from like the trees and stuff, but otherwise it looks to be a fairly nice small pond. Looks like it does go fairly deep though, so the crystal itself shouldn't really be seen from the bottom, unless someone was actively looking for it.
I guess we just plop it in, right?
Renial mage hands it out as far as he can, and then he just kind of drops it.
Okay. You watch the crystal go over. It falls with a nice plop, and you see it sink to the bottom of the river until it is pretty much out of your sight.
And then I fill up my canteen back with one of the jugs from my bag of holding.
All right, Raniel.
Yes.
I don't know. I was just wondering if you.
Who are you talking to?
It is strange. I thought I heard a voice in my head for a moment.
Oh my gosh.
You must be hearing things. I didn't hear anything.
Perhaps it was Nihilego trying to make contact.
Oh, maybe.
He kind of sits there quiet for a minute.
Or not.
By the way, never mind. Let's just head back. I was just thinking of something. It was nothing. Don't bother.
Renial just kind of looks at him.
Stare.
Let's just head back before we look suspicious.
To whom?
To Mori.
Fair enough. Are you sure you do not want to talk about it?
I was just curious if someone was watching us. I'm gonna actually look around. I'm gonna look at the trees, see if anything's moving, a bush rustle,
Roll perception.
an unnatural sound.
Raniel's right next to you.
Do it.
Yeah, 16.
You look around the forest and you think you're alone. You're pretty sure you're alone.
Yeah. Yeah, I've just been very nervous lately. Everyone else probably thinks I'm paranoid, but it just seems bad things always happen to us.
That is certainly understandable after everything we have been through recently.
Uh-huh.
It probably does not help with me being the way I am.
Oh no, it's nothing to do with you. It's just everyone I don't know that I'm paranoid of.
Always afraid that they are part of some sort of organization that is out to try to destroy the continent, huh?
Yes. I was right about that guy at the Coliseum.
That you were. Is there
And
anyone else you have these sorts of feelings about?
Pretty much everyone.
I
That we
suppose
meet.
I should have
Even
expected
more.
that. Even Mori?
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy, but I don't know. My mind defaults to there's like a conspiracy of some sort. It's just a ruse.
Renial thinks about it for a bit.
He did seem to indicate that he knew that the red rocks were in the forest for research purposes.
Yeah.
Then again,
What-
he is from Ledrith. It is an easy assumption to make when you are from there.
I just don't want to call out anyone without concrete proof.
That certainly would be a good way to make enemies, wouldn't it?
Yes. But it could just be me being paranoid.
There is nothing wrong with a healthy dose of paranoia. Occasionally, it can save lives.
Yeah, but you sometimes need to take a leap of faith and trust someone you don't know.
I suppose that is true. I took quite the leap of faith with all of you after all.
I guess I did too. But yeah, we should probably head back now.
Raniel just kind of nods.
Yeah. I guess we begin making our way back to the village.
All right. You do so. Harold and Sergey, assuming nothing, you weren't doing anything in particular. Mori was just sort of talking, playing with the kids. Nothing too big, and not too much happened. And eventually, you all come together.
Yeah, we got some water.
Okay. Cool.
Sure you don't forget it next time.
Yeah. Really parched, and yeah, I'm not going to make the same mistake twice.
Yeah, it's
Not
generally a
gonna
bad
make the same.
idea. Just be glad we're not like in the desert or something.
Oh gosh, imagine if that had happened.
Yeah.
About what time into the day is it right now?
By now it's about late afternoon, early evening.
And do we know about what time we're supposed to be taking him back?
Said it about 2 days, so you've got plenty of downtime right now.
So do we just gotta camp out, or is there like a
There's
little
there's a
village
bunch
area?
of random buildings. They're all abandoned and most of them are broken down, but you do have shelter here.
I'm kind of afraid to ask of like, oh, I don't think he's going anywhere. So we just hunker down here with you for the next 2 days.
Technically until tomorrow, but yeah, hope you guys don't mind.
Not
Well,
at all. It will be a nice change of pace.
Alright. And if there's any research stuff you want to talk about, feel free.
do you know about anything called Ultra Beasts?
Ultra Beasts, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if he does. Oh my gosh, I got a nat 20. Okay, dice, sure. Alright, he says... Yeah, I've heard of things like that before. They're those really strange things. Like, from what I've heard of legends and stuff, they're like these sort of almost monstrous things. Like, some of them are these giant bugs with like bulging muscles. Some
I
of
look at like my tongue like touches like a broken bowler. Yeah.
some of them look like stuff you'd find when you're folding origami. I hear one of them looks like a clown head or something, and it throws its head and explodes. Oh, and then
I
there's
have heard that there is one that is much like a... Oh, crud, I've forgotten what that Pokemon is called. Jellicent.
oh yeah, I've heard of that one too.
Would you like to see it?
What do you mean by that?
Raniel's gonna show him all the tentacles.
You do that, and he backs up, and he's like, what the actual?
Sergey immediately just puts both of his paws against his face.
Harold face palms, and then he like walks up to a tree and starts hitting his forehead against it a couple times.
Yeah, it's a neat party trick he does.
Okay.
He did tell
The
you
ten- the
he's
tentacles
strange and you'll never get used to it.
The tentacles blink at him and then slurp back into his mane.
Ew.
That was weird.
Your discomfort amuses me.
I'm glad I'm good for a laugh.
I was not laughing.
Are you even capable of feeling amusement?
It is very difficult to describe. I believe we have discussed this before.
Yeah, but you're not well versed in them, I take it.
I mean, I've heard all the legends, but that's just about it. Oh, there's this one legend of this one that almost looks sort of like it's wearing blackish armor. That one's
Yeah.
said to be more powerful than the rest of the Ultra Beasts.
Hmm. Yeah. We've heard about all that.
Ah, you have. Alright. But yeah, that's basically all I know. Real strange creatures, honestly. I kind of wonder if they actually do exist or if they're just rumors.
Well, well, uh, changing subject. You said you're from Ledrith, right?
Yeah.
Do you know about a Pokemon named Koratha?
Oh, Koratha. Well, that's a subject and a half. Yeah, she's one of the ideals if you in the R&D groups of Ledred ascribed to. She invented so many things like wonder orbs, a few of the wands, a whole bunch of stuff. I hear she was a legendary researcher and a half.
Yeah,
It runs in the family up to a certain point.
that's her great 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 grandson.
Renial nods.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's kind of neat. You must be one heck of a smarty if you could trace your legacy back to Koratha.
I could have been. But yes, my father is very much a well-known researcher. Do you know of Gadiel's sign?
I've heard of him. Wasn't he involved in like this big accident or something? It's like him and some Ampharos caused an incident at some point in time.
Yes.
But honestly, he's kind of. Honestly, though, it's kind of impressive that he was even willing to do anything with Mystery Dungeons. Most Pokemon just ignore him.
He is a rather ambitious one.
Or are you gonna say, Harold? I heard you.
Do you happen to know if Koratha had any connection to the ancient dunes?
The Ancient Dunes. You mean that old place way in the northeastern desert?
Exactly.
Sorta. She was. Memory serves. If history serves me correctly, she was part of the war effort on Arian's side, and that castle was the last bastion that the king of Caldwelch used before it was seized and he was eventually defeated. So she's probably been there a few times just as part of the war effort, and honestly, I don't know what happened to that castle after it, but considering it was ceded to Arian and Ledrith, perhaps they used it for something or other. Though it's all sanded dunes now, so ain't like anybody's gonna be using it anymore.
I read somewhere she worked with someone named Glenn Starshard, so he would have been probably occupied that place with her.
Probably, yeah. I don't know too much about him, but probably.
Hmm.
Finally, do you happen to know what ended up happening to Koritha?
Eh, I mean, she died as all of us do. I don't think it was ever confirmed what the cause of death was, but pretty sure she just ended up kicking the bucket like we all do. Though I don't think anybody's ever specifically, if there's any specific records of what the cause of death was or where she died or anything like that.
And so there's like no tomb or grave site.
There's a grave, but it's more of a. But whether there's like any body or anything there, I couldn't tell you.
Hmm.
I'd assume there would be, though. I can't see why not.
Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going.
Who's ready to do some grave robbing?
Oh no.
Perhaps that's thing we should look into as well. But I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
Alright, well, I don't know why you're asking all these questions, but I hope to help whatever you're looking at.
Well, we have lots of things we're looking into and private guild work, you know.
Very confidential.
Fair enough, I guess.
And some of it just trying to start, one of those uh, conversation things.
Yeah, I suppose otherwise we'd have an awkward silence between us. But hey, we could small talk while you're around. Don't need to post too much. So is there anything else you want to ask him, or shall we small talk your way back to being done?
I got nothing at the top of off the top of my head, so
Me neither.
Yeah.
No.
Alright, so yeah, you spend the remaining few days
Just watching Mori, perhaps.
watch the pharaohs as well, maybe
Uh-oh.
play with them or something.
I didn't specifically say I bought the materials to do so. Is it okay if I scribe a scroll during this time?
Oh, sure. We'll just say that you bought it. We'll just say that you got the materials or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to spend some time scribing scrolls, go ahead. Anything else anyone else wants to do in their sort of downtime now?
Not that I can think of.
No,
Got nothing.
we could ask Nihiligo about the war.
I suppose now's as good any time as any.
Are you gonna do it while Maury's there?
I was gonna
Well,
say probably
is he
better.
like off
Yes.
playing with the?
Oh no.
I mean, I was planning to do this when we were like at nighttime when we're kind of settled in one of our little huts or whatever.
Well, Cola said yes.
The
Okay,
Okay,
fine-
like-
so speaking of at night, and Harold actually would have done this while we were on our way back from the ruins. I just didn't want to break the flow of everything.
Oh, sorry.
But when it gets time for us to settle down at night, Harold pulls out his triangle and it starts kind of playing itself as it is wont to do when he's using it to cast a spell. It plays kind of this soft, kind of comforting little tune, maybe kind of reminds you of home. And as the minutes start to pass, because it takes a little bit, the air around Harold starts to start to ripple. And after 11 minutes, there's this like brown dome around him that is invisible from the inside, but not possible to see through from the outside.
Oh man.
And all of you find that you are able to walk through it.
Oh, this is neat. I like poke it. Does my like hand go through?
I believe your
Yes.
hand does go through, yeah.
Ugh. What's this?
It's a song I heard as a kid. I thought of a way to make use of it and turn it into something. I think we'll be safe in here, and we can put that creepy tent away.
Yeah.
I
No,
enjoy the tent.
it's a creepy tent, but you kind of got used to it. I looked around you.
This should be a lot more secure.
Yeah.
Nobody other than us can get it through here.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I suppose now's a better time than any to maybe ask Nihiligo about the war.
All right. A tentacle is out now. It is one
Alright.
of the hand ones with an eyeball on it.
All right, Nihiligo. Same process as last time. 1 lift is yes, 2 lift is no. All right?
It lifts once.
All right. Did you witness the war in our world before? With everyone fighting and dying, conflict.
It lifts once.
Okay. I didn't have a script ready to go if he actually said yes.
Oh, well then. Was not expecting that.
Are the Ultra Beasts involved in that in any way?
It lifts twice.
Was
They
it in
didn't intend to take advantage of it, even if they didn't instigate it?
Sorry, say that again?
They didn't intend to take advantage of it, even if they didn't instigate it?
The tentacle seems unsure.
someone here, one of us, an individual responsible for it? Or was many people? Or I guess you can't answer yes or no for that. Was an individual here?
It responds with no.
So we did it to
Suppose we
ourselves?
should clarify that's an individual as in someone from Lanwell, not somebody in this tent.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It responds with one flick.
So all of this was started by one person. Did that person have any contact with you collectively?
It flicks twice.
Did any of your people come to this world during the conflict?
It flicks once.
I'm sorry if some of these questions are stupid and redundant. I just trying to understand what's going on here.
Yeah. You seem to be the only one who knows what happened, so. Back then, did your kind, the Ultra Beasts, do what you did to Renial and merge with them?
It flicks twice.
No.
It seems like the tentacle looks like it has a lot more to say, but it's obviously unable to communicate it.
I need to figure out why they were here.
I think another one of our missions to find out how to communicate with him a little more directly, because I don't think we're going to get a lot out of yes and no's. But
It's a method of having
he
a proper
knows.
dialogue.
He was there. He knows what happened.
Do you think there's any way you could find a way to communicate with myself through telepathy?
Sorry, repeat that?
Do you think there's a way you could figure out a way to communicate with either Renial or myself if we were to initiate telepathic communication with you?
For a moment, the tentacle hangs there. It seems to be contemplative. It gives you one flick, but the one flick is very hesitant. Like, it seems to think that yes, but. Or it seems to be
Wait a
saying
minute.
yes, it's possible, but it isn't sure.
Wait a minute, could you write?
It hangs there.
Hold on. Just moving around in the dirt. If you got dirt or something that you could move around in, do you know our